Oh man, oh man, oh man. Yo, what is good? What is good, everybody? We're back with another topic of the day discussion. And wow, we're going to start pumping these out more and more frequently. This one, I actually had to do faster than normal. I had to put a couple of videos to the side because this is a conversation piece that I wanted to start ASAP. As you see within the topic, this is not anything that's meant to be funny. I'm not laughing, of course, or anything like that. It's actually something that's been on my mind, and we're going to address my keyword. We're going to address my perspective, okay? Reason why I'm doing this because really this video is actually sort of kind of acts as two things. One, it acts as a response video to Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder, he put out a rape culture is a myth, changed my mind. He recently put out a video, got several, obviously like he normally do, got millions of views, started a conversation not only within the comment section, but also started a conversation within the recording of the video on the campus, the one that he visited before. And the second thing this video acts as, it acts as a video for me to provide my input, to provide my perspective, what I am feeling, what I am thinking. Rather, what I am saying is based off of factual information, or rather what I'm saying is a opinion. But at the end of the day, if there's anything that you have an issue with what I'm saying out my mouth, or if you feel like this topic is very touching and hard-hitting and something that's going to be hard to handle, don't watch the video.
I can leave.
If you feel like I'm not going to agree with your opinion and how you feel, click off the video. If you feel like what I'm saying is incorrect and you want to provide your input, leave something in the comment section, or you can easily debate me on what I am thinking and change my mind in my Discord server. The link for it will be in the description box.
That's a great idea.
How I actually feel about the whole ordeal with rape culture. So, is rape culture a myth? Let's not go Steven Crowder mode with this video. One of the things I will say is this video is not going to be heavily based off of empirical data, any sort of data, documents, factual information, statistics, right? Because if it was based off of that, it will crush anything that someone would say in relation to the idea of rape culture being a thing, if we are going based off of numbers, right? But to some degree I will bring it up, but I won't go into detail in terms of using that to counterclaim or to go against the grain of rape culture. What exactly is rape culture? Rape culture is a society or environment whose prevailing social attitudes have the effect of normalizing or trivializing sexual assault and abuse. Or another definition I could provide is rape culture is a sociological concept for a setting in which rape is pervasive or normalized due to the societal attitudes about gender and sexuality. In a nutshell, if you was to wrap that up, rape culture is the idea of a society allowing it to be okay. A society that's making it okay for rape to happen. A society that's sweeping things under the rug and not punishing people who are committing these harsh crimes, forcefully raping people, right? That's essentially what rape culture is. Here's the issue that I have with just that term in itself. Number one, people have different definitions of rape culture, right? There's not one unified definition of what rape culture is to the masses for people who believe that that is actually a thing. There's no unified definition. It's a coined term that sprouted out of, I'm gonna say, thin air. My second issue that I have with the term in itself is for it to be a culture. This kind of coincides with number one. For it to be a culture, it does have to be something that's socially accepted. And if it is accepted, what's the point of there being some type of court system or a justice system for people who are actually convicted of rape?
Facts.
What about the people who are in prison or have committed rape crime in terms of based off the FBI, the Bureau, right? Forcefully raping people. For those who are convicted, for those who do go to court, for the ones that have the evidence that's presented in front of the court, in front of the judge, for them to give a final verdict on the situation where they are able to be convicted. That kind of debunks the idea of it being a rape culture if people are actually being convicted of said crime, does it not? And the other thing that I find confusing about the actual term of rape culture, if you do look at the numbers of crime rate in terms of crime rate from times of 1993 or 1995 all the way up to 2014. Some of the recent data is not there, or you may not be able to find it. I'm gonna put the links down in the description. But if you look at this information, you will actually see that crime rate is decreasing over time. The idea, the concept of people sexually assaulting people and raping people is decreasing over time. So when you get into our current timeline of 2018, what will you notice? There should be, keyword should be, based off the trend, less rapes happening than there was back then. Yet, the concept of this phrase, rape culture, didn't exist. It wasn't prevalent in 1995, 1996, rather it was a culture or not. Rather, the idea of it existing was there or not, that term was not there. And the other issue that I have with it is that I believe the term is very media controlled heavy. And the reason why I say it's media controlled heavy is because I don't feel people are doing their research. I'm not even saying I'm doing all my research. For the research I have done, it should be convincing enough to anyone, or at least to myself, to tell me, say, hey, I do not believe, based off my current level of thinking and based off all the information I know, I do not believe there's a such thing as a rape culture. I'm trying to stay away from getting into empirical data. I'm trying to stay away from getting into statistics, dropping numbers, dropping all these things based off of, you know, what's been recorded and documented within, you know, the FBI system and stuff like that, right? Some people can say, hey, there are cases out there that go undocumented. Great. I will say I will agree with you on that. It's an assumption, and that may contradict what I'm about to say in a second, but that doesn't negate the fact that if there's a small percentage chance of certain things going undocumented, it's not going to skew the numbers that heavily. If there's been more incidents of rape / sexual abuse in the past years, in 1995, 94, you know what I'm saying, 96, 97, if there's been more recordings of there being rape when there's less technology, less resources on our hand than we have now, we have more resources, we have more technology, we can do more, we can see more, we can track things more in terms of collecting data, evidence that we would need to convict someone of rape. And you telling me there's less of rape going on currently now than there was then, and yet people still want to throw out the term rape culture? That's still mind-boggling to me. And let's just go ahead and keep it a buck. If we're going to say that there's a rape culture, we also have to say that there's a bank robbery culture, there's a you know, car stealing culture, there's a killing culture, a suicide culture, social injustice culture, cops killing black people culture. If we really want to throw out, you know, these terms of rape culture, then we also have to associate that term, insert word, culture, to other things. Does that make sense? And that's why another thing within the title of this video, you're going to see dog ate my homework. And reason why I wanted that to be in the title of this video is because it sucks, right? Say for instance, you do know someone, you have someone personally and close to you, you know that they did get raped. I do not wish that upon anyone. I think that's just downright terrible. In fact, let's get more into detail. I think any crime, anything in relation to wrongful doing, sinning, acting out in terms of ill will, hatred, violence, or anything in terms of that, I think it shouldn't be acceptable. It shouldn't be accepted on any forms of level at all. But it's difficult because when you have someone who is the raper and then the rapee, someone who got raped, and you're presenting, your said case in front of, a judge, and they have to go off of, the evidence that's presented, if there even is evidence. And it's hard to convict someone of a crime without there being evidence, because it's basically a he said, she said sort of thing, a back and forth. And so if you want to look at it from that standpoint, yes, it is difficult and hard to convict someone of a crime without there being evidence, because then we will be making a emotional decision based off of what that person said. They swayed me enough emotionally to make a decision, not rationally, not based off evidence, but emotionally I was swayed to rule in this person's favor based off what they said instead of the evidence. So that's the concept of the dog ate my homework teacher. I wrote this amazing paper. It's amazing, I promise. But please listen to me. The dog ate my work, and it may be true, and I may believe you, but innocent until proven guilty. It sucks. It sucks, especially if you are in a situation where something happened to you. You want justice, and I know, because if it happened to me, I will be fighting for it too.
Facts.
I'll be in the trenches for it. I will die for it. I'll be in the street for it. I'll be protesting for it. But there has to be a better solution besides using terms like rape culture. I don't think that's it. That ain't it. I honestly don't think that's the next move, to be throwing terms out there saying we live in a society where this is something that's perpetuated. I disagree with that. I'm willing to have my mind changed on it. Long story short, if I was to wrap this up, like I said, the problems that I see personally with people throwing the term out there, they may not know all their facts. They may not know all the empirical data. They may not know all the information needed, for them to say what they need to say. Number two, I feel like people are making emotional decisions, emotional responses, emotional opinions, emotional movements instead of making rational movements, instead of thinking logically and thinking, what can we actually say about what's happening? Do I feel like there's some social injustice going on? Yes. Do I feel like people who should be convicted of crimes, when the evidence is presented and they haven't been convicted, do I think that's wrong? Yes. There are plenty of people that's walking among us that have done plenty of, not calling our names, there's plenty of people that's walking among us that have done certain things, yet they have not received any type of jail sentencing. They haven't fallen under the penal system. Nothing has happened to these people. I can't speak for that small percentage of people. For the people that do fall in the bubble where they know they messed up and they know the evidence is out there and they know they get convicted of the crime, people get convicted of the crime. But understand that all that we see in the media is still controlled media. It's propaganda. They only want you to see the things they want you to see. Has anyone ever seen the movie Nightcrawler? Shouldn't that not be a good enough? I know it's a movie, got fiction, I get it, but shouldn't that be a good enough example for people to see? It's like, hey, controlled media, they only want to see the things that gonna get them views. That's cool, we can report on that, but let's report on the stuff that's gonna get us views, give us numbers, because views equates to money. Why would I show everything on TV in terms of rape and sexual abuse? You know how often, I don't want to say often, but you know how many times crime happen around us that we don't get to see? We can't be everywhere. We're not omniscient. We're not omnipotent. We're not God. We're not godlike beings. We're just human beings at the end of the day. Only thing we can see is literally what's in front of us and what's being put out there. The solutions, as stated before, I think people just need to do the research themselves. I think people need to stay away from making emotional decisions and try to come up with a proper solution to be able to move forward. Not move forward past the concept of rape, but move forward in terms of what's the next step we can do to make sure the consistency is there. Consistency in terms of convicting people that need to be convicted. Consistency in terms of if evidence is presented, this person needs to receive the repercussions that they need to receive. We need to figure out a solution in terms of that. Focus on trying to get certain bills passed to make sure that consistency is in place. We do have a system. We do have rules and regulations. We do have authority figures. We do have all these things in place. But if there is a issue with that, then we need to address that.
It's about damn time.
So that's pretty much it for the video, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Hit the bell to be notified. And if you're new to the channel, check out the affiliate links down below. As I stated before, if there's anything that I said that you disagree with, leave it in the comment section. Let's open this video up for commentary. If there's anything that I stated that you agree with, leave it in the comment section as well. If you actually want to have a conversation with me, like I said, you can easily debate me, talk to me, debunk anything that I said. Go to my Discord server. Link will be in the description. P.O. box in the description as well. And at 10K subscribers, Q&A special. Leave me some questions in my email. Even if you want to talk about this particular subject or anything that's on your mind. That's it for the video, man. This is your boy Jamal _Haki. So peace out. Out.